Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I would like to say thank you to Government of Zambia and African Brains to inviting us for this event. Today, I want to talk about how we can take the next step in Africa to make the digital identities interoperable between the different countries. As we know, digital identity is the core of citizen access and how they interact with the government on day-to-day basis. If you talk about essential services, education services, citizen services, digital identity is at the core. And it follows the citizens throughout the course of their life, when they are born as a child, as a student, as an adult, as a parent, when they get married, when they get elderly. So it follows throughout their whole life. Okay, so it comes with its own challenges. Like everywhere, there are some challenges in Africa, and this is what I wanted to talk about. So first challenge is the fragmentation and lack of standardization. We know that today there are many different government agencies within many countries that they don't have any standards on how to enroll the citizens, how to do the verification. The second is vulnerability to cyber attacks, because most of the digital identity, what we see are a very centralized based digital ID. And being a centralized based digital identity, it becomes a honeypot for the hackers. And that's where this is one of the biggest challenge I think many countries are facing today. The third one is data sovereignty concerns. One of the biggest questions which is being asked today is that if your citizens' data resides inside Africa or not. The fourth one is public trust deficits. We know that a good digital identity program cannot be successful if your 100% of your citizens trust on your digital identity program. Unfortunately, we also see that I'll give you a task, like after this session, I think many people should go on social media and see all the conspiracy theories around the digital identity. So we see that there is a huge public trust deficit, and this is where we need to empower the citizens and make more trustable digital identity, that they trust the government more and use the digital identity on a day-to-day basis. The fifth one is privacy and data security concerns. So generally the issues we used to have with the physical ID, where the citizens used to hand over the whole ID document for the verification. The same concerns are there for the digital identity, and this is one of the biggest challenges today in Africa. The fifth one, the last one, is interoperability. We see that there are many different countries. Like yesterday, the Honorable President gave us an example of two brothers, one in Zambia, another one in Zimbabwe. They want to travel freely with the digital identity, but we don't see the interoperability between the two countries. So where there are challenges, we can turn them into an opportunity. And I think the best way to turning this into making a digital identity as a decentralized identity. The current technology, I think, which has been making way into many markets in the world, is decentralized identity with verifiable credentials. I'll just, in the next slide, I will take you through what is a decentralized identity. So traditionally, if you see that there is a central database where you capture enroll the citizens with their biometrics and all that stuff, and you verify it by every time for each verification, you contact the biometric servers and citizen database. Decentralized works in a very different way. The diagram, what you see over here, I call it a triangle of trust, because this is how you make a very trusted, decentralized way of doing a digital identity. As a government issuer, if you look at number one, you issue verifiable credentials to a citizen. To the citizens, they can carry it inside a super app, inside a digital wallet, it may be an OEM wallet like Apple Wallet, Google Wallet. And then they can freely do a verification to all the different relying parties. Relying parties can be banks, telcos, to immigration, to the airports and airlines. And everything is trusted using the registers, that's why it's called triangle of trust. Okay, for the citizen's perspective, what user experience citizen is going to get? So if you look at this diagram, there are many different government agencies. All of them can issue different types of ID documents inside a single digital wallet. and they can be interoperable to any different government agencies. So let's take an example of the same question which the Honorable President asked, that if you want to travel from Zambia to Zimbabwe, so you need your passport, probably you need your vaccination certificate, health certificate. So you imagine a world where you have a wallet and you have all these different documents inside one wallet, and everything can be interoperable. So what it makes is that it makes you one government wallet for everything, one super app. It can be nationally interoperable, it can be intra-African interoperable, and it can be internationally interoperable. Okay, so why we believe in decentralized ID? So if you take a comparison between centralized and decentralized, the credentials in the centralized is stored on a server, in a very central server, so it becomes a honeypot for the cyber attacks. In decentralized way, you store it in the citizen's phone. So it is very decentralized way of issuing a digital ID. There's a single point of failure in the centralized way, where if your centralized server is compromised, all the citizen data are compromised. That is not the case with the decentralized ID. If a hacker wants to hack digital ID of your citizen, he needs to hack all the different phones inside the country, which is very much impossible. From the security point of view, decentralized gives you more security. In the citizen data privacy, like today, if you want to visit probably a bar, if you want to have a drink, and they just want to ask you for if you're over 18 or not. So you just need to show them that you're over 18. You don't need to show your blood group and all that stuff. The next one is citizen data control, because all the data sits inside the citizen wallet, so citizens have more access to and more control of the data. If you talk about the verification mode, one of the biggest use cases of decentralized way of doing it is that the verification happens offline. It can happen via NFC, it can happen via Bluetooth. You don't need an internet to do the verification. The same goes for cost and scalability. For cost and scalability, if you want to have a centralized way of digital ID, it is much more expensive than the decentralized way. It is very much interoperable. So today, you can think that if you want to travel from Zambia to South Africa, so you can use your same Zambian digital wallet in South Africa. You don't need to go back to the physical ID cards. And it is very inclusive because it is able to issue the ID documents from all the different government departments. Okay, how can we achieve this? So there are many different standards and the frameworks in the world. So there is an ISO working group where they are the ones who are developing all the standards. Some of the standards are like 18013-5 for MDL, then 23220 for mobile ID, and ICAO is also doing standards for the DTC. And everything can be interoperable using the frameworks from OpenID and W3C. Why it is more reliable? Because the people who are the editor of the specs are some of the guys sitting over there. And probably it is very much interoperable within each and every country in the world. Okay, if you look at the trends towards the decentralized ID, so we have very much decentralized ID in US. Europe is doing something. There's going to be a UDI wallet live in 2026. You have Australia and New Zealand. Recently, one of the biggest country to move towards decentralized way of verifiable credentials is India. So they used to have an app called DigiLocker, and now they have moved towards verifiable credentials inside the same DigiLocker app. So we see there is a trend, but if you look at the African subcontinent, there are very few countries who are doing it, and we hope that some of you guys will take this initiative forward and do it. So the question is, who's going to become the leader for the decentralized ID? And the biggest USP is that it has to be interoperable. So the second point is that if we move towards these standards, we shouldn't be leaving all the African sovereignties and stuff inside. So we really need to work towards. And one of the points I think we keep reminding ourselves is that African Union, they have actually recommended to move towards decentralized ID. And I hope some of you guys can work towards moving towards decentralized ID. Okay, so let's do this together. So Why you want to work with Topan Security? Because we have been involved in the digitization journey with the government since last 25 years for Singapore. So Singapore, the SingPass, the platform, the whole backend, Topan has been working with the Singapore government for since so long. We were the ones who did the world's first decentralized mobile identity in Argentina. The journey started 10 years ago. And we were the ones who were with the customers in implementation, delivery, and stuff. So Argentina, one of the stories I wanted to share is that the Argentinian app went live in 2019. And during that, the COVID happened. So if you look at the whole concept about decentralization and interoperability, we started with digital ID, but then they started issuing the COVID vaccination certificates also in the same app. And today we see that the program is doing very well. We have a one-stop shop solution. So whatever you need from one end to other end, we can do everything. Thank you.